Ever wondered about the mystery of the Black Hills Gold Rush? What if you could dive into history and influence its course? Welcome to the story of the Black Hills Gold Rush, a tale that's far more gritty than the glittering nuggets unearthed from the earth. In the heart of the sacred Lakota land, whispers of buried treasure began to stir. Then, in 1874, gold exploded in the Black Hills, and the tranquil silence was shattered by the clamor of pickaxes and the clamoring of prospectors. It was a mad scramble for riches that would forever change the course of history. At the center of this chaos were two main perspectives, two sides of a golden coin, if you will. On one side, you had the miners, men and women who were drawn by the allure of gold and the promise of prosperity. They came to the Black Hills with dreams of striking it rich, hoping to unearth fortunes from the rugged terrain. On the flip side, you had the Lakota leaders, the guardians of the sacred land. To them, the Black Hills were more than just a source of gold. They were a part of their culture, their history, and their very identity. The gold rush was an invasion, a violation of their sacred land and the treaties that were supposed to protect it. The Black Hills Gold Rush was a time of conflict and change, a period that brought both prosperity and pain. It was a chapter in history where dreams were realized and shattered, where cultures clashed and the earth bore the scars of human greed. So here's where you come in. As we delve deeper into this historical saga, you'll get to choose your side. Will you be a miner, drawn by the allure of gold and the promise of prosperity? Or will you be a Lakota leader fighting to protect your people's heritage? Today, you'll get to choose your side and influence the narrative. Will you be a miner or a Lakota leader? The choice is yours. The town of Deadwood, a place where fortunes were made and lost faster than you can say yeehaw. Imagine a dusty frontier town teeming with prospectors, all with dreams of striking it rich. The Black Hills, once a sacred terrain for the Lakota people, now surge with a new breed of explorers. The lure of gold had turned the quiet hills into a bustling boomtown. But this bonanza was not without its busts. As quickly as the riches flowed, they ebbed away. Deadwood was a town where the law of the jungle ruled, where the quickest draw and the strongest arm often won the day. But the miners didn't just grapple with the Wild West lawlessness, they also faced a slew of injustices. Unfair taxes ate into their hard-earned fortunes, turning dreams of prosperity into nightmares of debt. Discrimination, too, was as common as the gold dust that lined the miners' pans. Immigrants, lured by the promise of a better life, found themselves at the bottom of the heap, exploited and ostracized. The gold rush was a melting pot, but not all ingredients were treated equally. And then there was the environmental destruction. The once pristine Black Hills were ravaged, scarred by pickaxes and dynamite. Streams ran murky with silt, forests were felled for timber, and wildlife fled. The land paid a high price for the gold it housed. Yet, amidst the chaos and hardship, there was a sense of camaraderie, a shared struggle against the odds. The miners were resilient, enduring harsh winters, treacherous terrain, and the constant threat of claim jumpers. They were pioneers, carving out a life in the wilderness, undeterred by the many challenges they faced. Deadwood, a symbol of the gold rush era, was a testament to the human spirit's tenacity, a chapter in history where the promise of riches drove men to endure the unimaginable. But as we'll find out, the miner's journey was not all glitter and gold, but what about the Lakota's side? Let's delve deeper. For the Lakota people, the Black Hills were not just a source of gold, but sacred land. This was a land where they sought spiritual guidance and made connections with the divine. But the gold rush of 1874 shattered this sacred bond, as the glint of gold blinded the eyes of the settlers. The Fort Laramie Treaty of 1868 had promised the Lakota people the undisturbed possession of the Black Hills. However, the discovery of gold led to a flurry of settlers rushing into the land, breaking the treaty, and sparking a conflict that would last for years. The U.S. government, driven by the promise of wealth and progress, turned a blind eye to the broken promises and the rights of the Lakota people. The Lakota, however, were not silent victims. They voiced their objections, fought legal battles, and even took up arms to protect their sacred land. The Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876 was one such fierce resistance, a testament to the Lakota's bravery and desire to protect their heritage. Despite being outnumbered, they stood strong against the U.S. Army in a fight that is still remembered today. But the fight was not just on the battlefield. The Lakota challenged the U.S. government in the courts, fighting for the recognition of their rights. In 1980, the United States Supreme Court ruled in the United States vs. Sioux Nation of Indians that the seizure of the Black Hills was illegal and awarded the Lakota monetary compensation. However, the Lakota rejected the money, insisting instead on the return of their sacred land. The Lakota fought fiercely for their rights and their land, but what was the lasting impact of this gold rush? Let's find out. The legacy of the Black Hills Gold Rush is a tale of broken treaties and broken promises, a reminder of the cost of progress and the fight for justice. It is a story that goes beyond gold, touching on the struggle for indigenous rights, cultural preservation, and the environmental consequences of unchecked greed. The gold rush left more than just empty mines and ghost towns in its wake. The lust for gold not only altered the landscape of the Black Hills, but also left an indelible mark on the lives of its native inhabitants, the Lakota people. Imagine a forest, once lush and teeming with life, now scarred with abandoned mines and littered with debris. The environmental impact of the gold rush was colossal, causing deforestation, soil erosion, and water pollution. The once clear streams turned murky, the air filled with dust, and the wildlife dwindled. The Black Hills, a sacred sanctuary, was transformed into a bleak testament of human greed. But the scars weren't just on the land. Cultures were fractured, traditions disrupted. The gold rush brought an influx of outsiders, causing a cultural clash that shook the very identity of the Lakota people. Their sacred rituals and traditions, once the heartbeat of their existence, were overshadowed by the clamor of pickaxes and the chaos of mining towns. The Lakota, custodians of the Black Hills for generations, were suddenly strangers in their own land. And even as the echoes of the gold rush faded, the struggle for justice continued. The Lakota's fight for their rights, for the return of their sacred land, didn't end with the depletion of the gold mines. It became a part of their narrative, a relentless quest for justice that echoes through the corridors of time. The Black Hills Gold Rush wasn't just a mad scramble for riches, it was a story of broken promises, of cultures lost, and an environment scarred. It was a testament to the human cost of progress, a narrative that challenges our understanding of history and compels us to question the price we pay for wealth. The story of the Black Hills isn't just about gold, it's about the resilience of a people, the sanctity of land, and the cost of progress. It's a story that goes beyond glitter, beyond gold, and delves into the heart of what it means to be human. The Black Hills Gold Rush was more than just a scramble for riches. It was a pivotal moment in history that continues to resonate today. Now the question remains, what happened to the largest gold nugget ever found in the Black Hills? A question as alluring as the glimmer of gold itself. Sparking imaginations and igniting curiosity, the fate of this elusive nugget has become the stuff of legend. Was it melted down to fund a burgeoning empire, or secreted away by a cunning prospector, hidden deep within the earth from which it came? Perhaps it was lost to the annals of time, its location forgotten by those who once knew of its existence. Or maybe, just maybe, it's still out there, waiting to be discovered by some intrepid adventurer. Theories abound, each more intriguing than the last. Some say it was stolen by a band of outlaws, its golden gleam now dulled by layers of dust in some forsaken hideout. Others claim it was seized by the government, a glittering prize locked away in a vault, far from prying eyes. There are those who believe it was simply lost, swallowed up by the unforgiving wilderness of the Black Hills. But perhaps the most intriguing theory of all is that the nugget was never truly lost. Instead, it was returned to the earth, buried deep within the sacred land of the Lakota. A final act of defiance, a symbol of resistance against the relentless tide of progress that threatened to engulf their way of life. So take a moment, let your mind wander back to those frenzied days of the gold rush. Immerse yourself in the untamed beauty of the Black Hills. Can you hear the pickaxes striking the earth, the jubilant cries of prospectors as they unearth their fortunes? Can you see the glint of gold in the sunlight, the largest nugget ever found, its fate shrouded in mystery? We encourage you to share your thoughts, your theories, your imaginings. The Black Hills Gold Rush is a tale of ambition and adversity, of riches won and lost, of a land forever changed. But it is also a story of mystery and intrigue, of a golden nugget whose fate remains unknown. The Black Hills Gold Rush may be over, but its legacy lives on. And the mystery? Well, that's for you to decide.